Welcome to the new report for the last 2 weeks. I'm Frano and I am a self-taught developer learning how to code inside Node.js by working on one app, which is called Currency Analyzer. You can also find a currencyanalyzer.com on a website, which is currently active, and you can see the appearance, and also the front end is not very good, but it has functionality. The goal is to learn and also to make this app by coding Node.js as a backend with JavaScript, CSS and HTML on the front-end part, how to use API from the third-party source and show the data by making some kind of modification and also calculation in the backend to show for example, this bar chart, this line chart, then another bar chart, and also the data below that. What you can see currently, for example, let's click this one, okay, and go below, we can see the data for a pip range, for example, for the Euro USD. Everything is about the currencies, that is why it's called Currencyanalyzer as a currency analyzer. Now, the goal is to make this website active and also to provide the data as much as possible, because I have lots of the ideas how to create the charts and also how to combine the data about the currencies, open, close, high, low price of each of the currency, and how to use that in favor of trading. I also have a website and also a YouTube channel, getnotrading.com, where I also share the details about how to analyze the currencies. Now, the goal is here to make the record of my journey, which is currently almost a year. Currently it is week 38, but I have started last year in December. So there are 2 more months until I reach that. It will not be 52 weeks starting from here, because until December this year we have around 8 weeks, and 38 plus 8 is 46, which is not 52. The missing weeks are the weeks when I have had a vacation and also had other jobs to do. Now let's go. I also have a report saved here on the self.developer.com website. You can see that when you go to the home page, you will see everything is in a simple HTML. I have not worked on CSS now still, but you can also click here, last report here, but also you can read my start of my journey here, where you have the dates, what I have done, what I was thinking, and then later on, as I have decided to put a report into 2 weeks period, and I have special web page for each of that 2 week span. Now, for the week report 38, that is the last 2 weeks, I have put some kind of records what I have done and also the changes I have done on the website. Now, here inside the GitHub, you can also see my progress. I also save the data each day whenever I work on the code. You can see here are some kind of empty days when I have not coded, and that is the day when I was learning about how to solve the issue I was stuck on. I will explain that here in the report. Starting from 25th of September, idea is put current status to live website on DigitalOcean Droplet. What I have done, local version of website and database on the DigitalOcean. The problem issue was with the server on DigitalOcean Droplet. Nginx config file and root files needed to be put on the correct place. Let me see what was the next. Okay, just a minute. Okay, the problem was here that when I have uploaded the current status of the code, the CSS files were not loading. Index.js was loading, but the CSS was not, so that everything was not working correctly. Before, I think it was in April, 6 months ago, I had an issue similar when I was putting the website alive on DigitalOcean Droplet, and I had problems because if you go here to my local version, you can see that I have localhost /read. It is not a complete simple domain, but it is a page which is called read. If you go to the Currencyanalyzer, you can see you do not have to have a // to get to some specific website to reload. It is on the domain homepage. I had an issue when I put everything on digital DigitalOcean Droplet, because I needed to have a /read, because I have not put the code inside the software to work. When you call the domain name, the homepage, it will reload with the new data. I had that problem, so I needed to solve this issue, and the problem was inside ngin x config file, which I needed to solve. But based on the 6 months ago in April, when I have solved this, I have forgot what I have done, and I have not put all the data, all the steps what I have done, but I knew it that some inside config file I have put this / to some page. Currently it is read, but before that it was a refresh, like you can see it here, to reload a complete. So I needed to forward this domain name to refresh to reload the data. So I needed to solve this issue and needed to find a config file, and I needed to learn about nginx config file, what is inside and how it works. I have tried with ChatGPT to help me to solve this issue. It was not possible because ChatGPT doesn't have the whole context of the problem. He points into one direction and gives you an explanation, but it's not including everything that is influencing this issue. So I needed to learn how to modify nginx config file in order to get this working. So I spent several days learning and watching tutorials how the nginx works, how the server folders and files are configured, where it is config file, how it reads, where to put my software database, and also all the files, so it is loaded correctly, and especially CSS files. So it took several days until I found this issue and have solved this problem. Next, after that, it was the idea is changing the code to have home page and a refresh when new data should be saved in the database. To have code free from frontend, blah 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 blah. Okay, which calls the API and save the data in the database, which sends the data from there. Now I have the function. So it's reading database. Okay. The issue is what I have said with the /. I need to have a refresh to reload the data, because inside my code I have a post request with the URL with refresh /refresh to reload completely the data. So I needed to have two functions. One of the functions should be a refresh to get the data from the database in the backend. And the second one function was complete without refresh, simple domain name. It was to send the data to the front end. So I needed to separate those one function into two functions, so it is easier to manipulate the data, and I do not have the issue on the domain, on the digital droplet. This is what I have done. You can see that. Okay, the problem was I had issue with forming database client for the call. I had a reach request with new database connection, but it's to have one connection. Okay, so when I have separate one function into two functions, I needed to have calling the database 2 times. So I had problem with this one, and I needed to put all the details inside the code about the database, and that means what is the local, what is the name of the database, what is the username, what is the password. So I have put that sorry. So I put that at the start of the code, and later on I have simply used calling that function about the database. So it's easier to use that and making a new client for each of the call. Okay. Next one was the idea specific poster and the refresh. Okay, this is also one of the issues I needed. First of all, if you go here to the domain and you go back down here where is the pip range, whenever you select, for example, GBP or any other currency symbol, you click OK, the page will refresh and it will start from the start. So I needed to find how to solve this issue, and that means whenever I click here OK, only this one is reloaded, only this data, not the whole page. When I click this one here, I do not want to reload the whole page and then go back down to get the data about these two currencies. So I needed to find somehow the idea I knew what I want, but I didn't know how this works in Node.js. I needed to see, and one of the solutions was to use Ajax, and that was asynchronous JavaScript XML code that I needed to send to the database, and he sends to me back without reloading the database or website page. So first I spent several days learning how to code that, how to solve that, and then it was a little bit problem. The problem is with calling variables inside partials, and I have used also the EJS partials. What that means, I will go inside the code. Here you can see that I have here inside the partials several of these files. What that means, before that I had only one index EJS, and that was containing all the code, and then I needed to separate header and the footer and the body. So inside index EJS, if I go down, if I go up, you can see here that all what I have here is including partials header EJS. So inside this file, for example, inside header, I will have everything that is inside the header. So whenever I create a new website page, I simply use this header and it will be all the same, the header on all pages. So I do not need to write again the whole code here at the start of every page. So this was the idea, to make some kind of a template so I can use on every page. For example, the footer doesn't change at all on every website page. So I simply on a new page, I use this one template and include it. These are EJS partials, so I have started to use them. And then the issue has come how to use that partials together with this code, how to reload only this function. And I have spent several days, and you can see today I have found the solution. It was using the fetch method, where I can send a JSON request to the backend. He reads the database and send back the JSON file with the data, and I populate the chart. So I can use this one, for example, this chart. If I go here to the local version, you can see that I currently have /read. It is calling the function. Here it is back below down here where the pip range is. When I click submit, okay, you can see it reloads and gets the data from the backend. If I go to GBP, click submit, and new data has been populated. If I go to New Zealand dollar, you can see it changes the data. So I'm not reloading the whole page, but only this chart. So this will allow me to use this specific partials and this specific code as a template to use on any other website page, which will allow me to have reuse the same code and the same chart on several pages. This is the idea. And this next one step is also to make this one for the correlation chart, for this one, for the line chart, and also for this currency string meter. This is the goal for the next one. You can see that here. It is also inside the report what is the next for other charts, so I can manipulate them easily. And later on, the next also will be to add more functionality to make more website pages, so also the Google can start reading this domain, and you can understand that I need also to promote this website page to get also some kind of a feedback, what is good for the traders and also what they would like to have. Well, I hope I have explained everything, all the tabs I have explained. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, to ask. If you have some proposal, an idea, feel free to share with me, leave a comment, and I'll try to answer as soon as possible. This is all for this time. Happy coding. Until next time.